Dohan woke up to the sound of a door opening. He sat up quickly, his old muscles still tired from everything that had happened. For a moment, he forgot where he was. Then he saw the metal walls and the strange glowing lights, and he remembered. He was in space, on an alien ship. Far from home. Velthos stood in the doorway. His gray face was hard to read, but his black eyes seemed different now. Softer, maybe. Or perhaps just more careful. "It is time," Velthos said. Dohan stood up slowly. "Time for what? More tests?" No more tests. "We are taking you home." Those words hit Dohan like warm sunlight after a long winter. Home. He was going home. Back to his village. Back to his fields. "Back to Yuna? Really?" he asked. His voice was shaking a little. "You are not going to keep me here." Velthos shook his head. "You have given us what we needed. We understand humans now. Or, at least, we understand them better than before." Dohan followed Velthos through the long hallways of the ship. This time, the aliens they passed did not look at him with curiosity. They looked at him with something else. Was it fear? Respect? Dohan could not tell. He had never been good at reading faces, even human ones. They reached a large room with a window that showed the stars. And there, floating in the darkness, was Earth, blue and green and beautiful. Dohan felt tears form in his eyes. "There it is," he whispered. "My home." Velthos stood beside him. "Your planet is remarkable. In all my years of leading the council, I have never seen anything like it." "It is just a planet," Dohan said. "Just a place where we live." "No," Velthos replied. "It is much more than that. Your planet is a test, a challenge. Every day, you fight to survive, and you do not even realize how strong that makes you." Dohan was quiet for a moment. He watched the clouds move slowly across the surface of Earth. Somewhere down there was Korea, and somewhere in Korea was his village. And in his village, Yuna was probably worrying about him. "Will I remember any of this?" Dohan asked. "Or will you make me forget?" Velthos paused. "We could make you forget. We have the technology. Some in the council suggested it. They think it would be safer." Dohan's heart sank. He did not want to forget. This was the most amazing thing that had ever happened to him. How could he forget? "But I argued against it," Velthos continued. "I believe you have earned the right to remember, and I believe you will keep this secret. Am I correct?" Dohan nodded quickly. Yes, I will not tell anyone." Who would believe me anyway? An old farmer talking about aliens? They would think I had gone crazy. A small smile appeared on Velthos' face. It was a strange sight on his alien features. That is what I thought too. Riken appeared behind them. The blue scientist was carrying a small device. "Before you go, I have something for you." He handed the device to Dohan. It was small and round, about the size of a coin. It glowed with a soft blue light. "What is this?" Dohan asked. "A gift. If you ever need to contact us, just hold this and think of the stars. We will hear you." Dohan looked at the strange coin. "Why would I need to contact you?" Riken smiled. "You probably never will. But the universe is full of surprises. And after meeting you, I have learned that anything is possible." Dohan put the coin in his pocket. It felt warm against his leg. They led him to a small room with a circle of light on the floor. Dohan guessed this was how they would send him back. The same way they had brought him here. Before he stepped into the light, Dohan turned to face Velthos one more time. "Can I ask you something?" Dohan said. "Of course. Why did you really let me go?" "I know I passed your tests, but there has to be more to it." Velthos was silent for a long moment. When he spoke, His voice was quieter than before. "Because you taught me something. All my life, I have measured species by their power, their weapons, their technology. But you have none of those things. You are just an old farmer with scarred hands. And yet, you are the bravest being I have ever met." Doan shook his head. "I am not brave. I am just too old to be scared. Perhaps. But there is something inside you, inside all humans. A fire that does not go out. No matter what the universe throws at you, you keep going. You keep surviving. That is not just strength. That is something else. Something we do not have a word for." Dohan thought about his life. The hard winters, the bad harvests, the snake bites, the death of his parents, the struggles of raising children. Every challenge had felt impossible at the time, but he had always found a way through. "We call it hope," Dohan said. Velthos repeated the word slowly. "Hope. I will remember that." Dohan stepped into the circle of light. Immediately, he felt his body start to tingle. The room around him began to fade. "Goodbye, human," Velthos said. "And thank you." Dohan wanted to say something back, but before he could, the light surrounded him completely. Everything went white. Then everything went silent. When Dohan opened his eyes, he was standing in his rice field. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. The air smelled like earth and water. He was home. For a moment, he just stood there. He looked at the sky. Was the ship still up there? Were the aliens watching? He could not see anything but clouds and stars. "Dohan!" He turned around. Yuna was running toward him. Her face was covered in tears. She crashed into him and wrapped her arms around his chest. "Where have you been?" she cried. "You disappeared. The whole village has been looking for you. I thought you were dead." Doan hugged her back. He held her tight and breathed in the smell of her hair. Home. He was finally home. "I am sorry," he said softly. "I had to go somewhere. But I am back now. I am back." Yuna pulled away and looked at his face. "Where did you go? What happened to you?" Doan smiled. "You would not believe me if I told you." She frowned. "Try me." He thought about it. He thought about Velthos and Riken and the council. He thought about the snake videos and the tests. He thought about the word Death World and Category 12. And all the things that probably meant. Then he looked at Yuna, at her worried face, at her loving eyes. "I will tell you later," he said. "First, can you make me some soup? I am very hungry." Yuna laughed through her tears. "You disappear for 2 days, and the first thing you want is soup. Your soup is the best in the world, maybe even the best in the universe." She shook her head but smiled. "Come on, old man. Let us get you inside." They walked back to the house together, hand in hand, just like they had for 40 years. Behind them, the stars began to appear in the darkening sky. And somewhere up there, a ship full of aliens was moving away from Earth. They carried with them a new understanding of humans, a new fear, a new respect. They had come looking for a weak species to study. Instead, they found survivors, warriors, children of a death world, who did not know how special they were, and all of that had been revealed by one old farmer, a man with scarred hands and a simple life, a man who had been bitten by 3 deadly snakes and lived to tell the story. Dohan did not know it, but his words would echo across the galaxy for centuries. Stories would be told about the human who laughed at death. Songs would be sung about the farmer who was not afraid. But Dohan did not care about any of that. He was home. He was with Yuna, and tomorrow he would go back to his rice field and get back to work, because that was who he was. Just a farmer, just a human, just a survivor. The news spread through the ship like fire. Every alien on board heard the same thing. The human had survived. Not just the test. He had survived 3 deadly snake bites on his home planet. And he did not even think it was a big deal. Dom was taken to a small room. It was better than the testing room. There was a soft bed, a table, and something that looked like a window. But when Dohan looked through the window, he did not see the sky. He saw stars. Millions of stars, floating in the darkness of space. He sat down on the bed and looked at his hands. The scars were still there. They would always be there. Marks from a hard life. Reminders that he had almost died. But also proof that he had survived. A door opened and an alien came in. This one was smaller than the others. It had soft pink skin and large green eyes. It carried a tray with strange food on it. "For you," the alien said in a gentle voice. "Please eat." Dohan looked at the food. He did not recognize any of it. There were purple cubes, blue liquid, and something that looked like glowing bread. "Is it safe for humans?" he asked. The alien nodded quickly. Yes. We checked. Humans can eat many things. Your stomachs are very strong." Dohan picked up one of the purple cubes and bit into it. It tasted sweet, like fruit. Not bad. He ate a few more. "Thank you," he said. The alien bowed and left the room. Dohan was alone again. He lay down on the bed and closed his eyes. He was tired. So tired. He just wanted to go home, but far away from his room, things were not so calm. Velthos had called an emergency meeting of the Galactic Council. All the leaders of all the planets were connected through screens. Hundreds of faces from hundreds of worlds. All of them watching. All of them listening. "Thank you for joining on short notice," Velthos said. "I have important news about Earth." The screens flickered with curious faces. Some aliens leaned forward. Others crossed their arms. Everyone wanted to know what was so important. "We brought a human to our ship for testing," Velthos continued. "We wanted to learn about their fear responses, to see how they react to danger." "And?" asked one of the leaders. This one was from a water planet. Its skin was smooth and blue like the ocean. Velthos took a deep breath. The results were unexpected. He pressed a button and the screen showed Dohan. The old farmer sat in the testing chair, looking at videos of deadly snakes. His face was calm. His body was relaxed. He was not afraid. Then the audio played. Dohan's voice filled the room. "Oh, those? Got bit by 3 of those back home. Hurt like hell, but my wife made soup and I was fine in a week." The council chamber exploded with noise. Aliens from every planet were shouting, whispering, gasping. Some stood up from their seats. Others covered their eyes. "Silence," Velthos commanded. The noise slowly died down. "This human," Velthos said, "was bitten by 3 different venomous snakes. Any one of these bites would kill most species in this room within minutes. But this human survived all 3, and he treats it like it was nothing." A green-skinned leader spoke up. "Impossible. He must be lying. No creature can survive such attacks." "We scanned him," Velthos replied. "The scars are real. The venom damage is real. He is telling the truth." Another leader, one with 6 eyes and a hard shell, asked, "Is this human special? Is he different from the others?" Velthos shook his head slowly. "No, he is a farmer. A simple farmer. He says many humans have similar experiences. Snake bites are common on their planet." The room fell into a different kind of silence. The kind of silence that comes when you realize something terrible. Recan, the blue scientist, stepped forward. "I have completed my analysis. Earth is what we feared. It is a death world. The planet is filled with predators, poisons, diseases, and natural disasters. Humans have evolved to survive all of it. He showed data on the screens, charts and graphs that most aliens could not fully understand. But the message was clear. Humans can eat foods that would poison other species. They can survive temperatures that would kill most life forms. They can recover from injuries that would be fatal to any of us. Their immune systems are advanced. Their pain tolerance is high. And their mental resilience is extraordinary. One leader raised a hand. What does this mean for the galaxy? Are humans a threat? Velthos answered carefully. That is what we must decide. Humans have not attacked anyone. They do not even know we exist. But their potential is frightening. If they ever become hostile, they would be very difficult to stop. Another voice spoke. This one was deep and cold. It came from a leader with dark purple skin and no visible face. Then we should stop them now, before they grow stronger, before they spread. Many aliens nodded in agreement. Fear was taking over. Fear of the unknown. Fear of the survivors from the death world. But Velthos raised his hand. Wait, I have spent time with this human. I have talked to him. He does not want war. He does not want power. He just wants to go home and farm his land. That is what he says now, the purple leader replied. But what about later? What about his children? His grandchildren? When they learn about the galaxy, will they be so peaceful? The argument went back and forth. Some wanted to leave humans alone. Some wanted to attack now. Some wanted to make contact and become friends. Everyone had an opinion. And everyone was scared. Finally, Velthos spoke again. We cannot attack an innocent species. That goes against everything the Council stands for. We were created to keep peace, not to start wars. Then what do you suggest? Asked the ocean leader. Velthos thought for a moment. We watch them. We study them. And we prepare. If humans ever become a threat, we will be ready. But we will not harm them without cause. That is not who we are. The Council voted. It was close. Very close. But in the end, Velthos won. Humans would be left alone. For now, but everyone agreed on one thing. Earth would be reclassified. It was no longer just another planet. It was now officially a death world. And humans were now classified as a Category 12 species. The most dangerous rating possible. Back in his small room, Dohan did not know any of this. He was sleeping on the soft bed, dreaming of his rice fields, dreaming of Yuna, dreaming of home. He had no idea that his simple words had changed everything. That hundreds of alien leaders were now terrified of his species. That his planet was now marked as the most dangerous place in the galaxy. He was just an old farmer who had survived some snake bites, but to the rest of the universe, he was proof that humans were unlike anything they had ever seen. Survivors, fighters, the children of a death world, and that made them the most terrifying species in existence. The testing room had become very quiet. The aliens who had come to watch were now frozen in their seats. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. They just stared at the old farmer with the scars on his body. Dahan did not understand why everyone was so surprised. Getting bitten by snakes was not special. It happened to farmers all the time. Some died, yes, but many survived. It was just part of life in the countryside. Riken, the blue scientist, was typing fast on a small device. His four hands were shaking. Numbers and data filled the screen in front of him. This is impossible, Riken muttered. The venom from those snakes should have killed him within hours. The data shows that humans have no natural defense against these toxins. Velthos walked closer to Doan. He moved slowly, like he was approaching a dangerous animal. Which was funny to Doan. He was just an old man. What was there to be afraid of? Tell me, Velthos said carefully. When you were bitten, what did you do? Dawn thought about it. The first time, my father carried me to the doctor. He gave me some medicine. I slept for 2 days, and then I was better. Medicine? Velthos asked. What kind of medicine? I do not know. Something for the poison. The doctor had it ready. Many farmers get bitten, so he always kept some. Velthos turned to Riken. They have medicine. They can cure the venom. Riken shook his head. That is not the surprising part. Many species have developed cures for poisons. What surprises me is that this human was able to survive long enough to receive the cure. The toxins should have killed him in less than an hour. But he lived. Not once, not twice. 3 times. Another alien spoke up. This one was tall with long arms and silver skin. Perhaps humans are immune to venom? No, Riken said. Our data shows that millions of humans die from snake bites every year. They are not immune, but some of them survive. Against all odds, they survive. Dawn listened to them talk. He felt like he was in a dream. These strange beings from space were talking about him like he was some kind of miracle. But he did not feel like a miracle. He just felt like an old farmer who had some bad luck with snakes. Can I ask a question? Dawn said. Everyone looked at him. Why does this matter so much? He asked. Snakes are dangerous, yes. But we have learned to live with them. We are careful. We wear boots. We watch where we step. And if we get bitten, we try to get help. That is just life. Velthos was silent for a long moment. Then he spoke. You do not understand. In the galaxy, there are very few planets like Earth. Most worlds are safe. The animals are gentle. The plants are not poisonous. The weather is calm. Life is easy. Dawn frowned. That sounds nice. It is nice, Velthos agreed. But it has made us weak. Our bodies are not built for danger. If a creature like your snakes lived on our planets, we would all be dead. We have no defense against such things. Riken added, we have studied hundreds of planets, thousands of species, but we have never seen anything like Earth. Your planet is covered in death. Every part of it wants to kill you. And yet, you survive. You thrive. You even think it is normal. Dohan thought about Earth. He thought about the snakes in the fields, the spiders in the corners, the storms that destroyed houses, the cold winters that froze the ground, the hot summers that burned the crops. Yes, life was hard. But that was just how things were. He never thought it was unusual. We do not have a choice, Doan said simply. Earth is our home. We cannot go anywhere else. So we learned to survive. But how? Riken asked. How did you learn? Your species is young, only a few 100,000 years old. How did you become so strong in such a short time? Dohan smiled a little. It was a tired smile. The smile of someone who had seen a lot of hard days. I do not know about science, he said. But I know about farming. When I plant rice, not all of it grows. Some seeds are weak. They die. But the strong ones survive. And those strong ones make more seeds. And those seeds are strong too. After many years, you have very strong rice. He paused and looked at his scarred hands. Maybe humans are like that. Maybe all the weak ones died long ago, and only the strong ones are left. We are the children of survivors. We carry their strength in our blood. The room was silent again. But this time, it was a different kind of silence. It was the silence of understanding. The aliens were starting to see humans in a new way. Velthos finally spoke. In the council, we have a name for planets like yours. We call them death worlds. They are rare. very rare, and the creatures that survive on them are the most dangerous in the galaxy. Doan did not like the word dangerous. He was not dangerous. He was just a farmer. "I do not want to hurt anyone," he said. "I just want to go home and plant my rice." "We believe you," Velthos said. "But the other species in the galaxy will not understand. When they learn about Earth, they will be afraid." "Very afraid." "Afraid of what?" "We have never attacked anyone in space," Riken answered. "They will be afraid of your potential. If humans can survive a planet full of deadly creatures, what else can you survive? War? Disease? Disaster? Your species is built for suffering. You do not break. You adapt. You grow stronger." Dohan remembered something his grandfather used to say. "When the storm comes, the strong tree does not try to stand still. It bends with the wind. And when the storm is over, it stands up again." Humans were like that tree. They bent, but they did not break. "Is that a bad thing?" Dohun asked. Velthos shook his head slowly. "No, it is not bad, but it is terrifying. The galaxy has been at peace for thousands of years. We have forgotten what it means to struggle, to fight, to survive. And now we find a species that has never forgotten. A species that lives on a world of death and thinks it is normal." He stepped closer to Dawn. His big black eyes looked right into the old farmer's face. "You are the most dangerous thing we have ever found," Velthos said quietly. "Not because you are violent, not because you are evil, but because you are survivors. And survivors will do anything to keep living." Dawn did not know what to say. He had never thought about humans this way. To him, they were just people. Normal people trying to live normal lives. But to these aliens, humans were something special. Something to be feared. "So what happens now?" Dawn asked. "Am I in trouble? Is my planet in trouble?" Velthos looked at the other aliens in the room. They were all whispering to each other. The mood had changed. When Dawn first arrived, they had looked at him like he was a test subject. Something to study. Something to judge. But now they looked at him with something else in their eyes. Respect. "No," Velthos finally said. "You are not in trouble. But we need to talk. The Council needs to know what we have learned today. They need to understand what humans really are." He turned to his soldiers. "Take him to a comfortable room. Give him food. Give him water. Treat him with respect." The soldiers nodded and walked toward Dawn, but they did not grab him. They did not push him. They simply gestured for him to follow Dot. As Dohan walked out of the testing room, he looked back at the screens. The snakes were still there, frozen in their attack poses. Cobras and vipers and mambas. Creatures that had almost killed him 3 times. And yet, here he was. Still standing. Still breathing. Still alive, maybe. Dahan thought, humans really were special after all. Velthos led Dohan through long hallways. The walls were smooth and glowing with soft light. There were no windows, but Dohan could feel that he was very far from home. His heart was still beating fast, but he kept his face calm. He had learned long ago that showing fear only made things worse. Other aliens walked past them. Some were tall. Some were short. Some floated instead of walking. They all looked at Dohan with curious eyes. He was probably the first human they had ever seen up close. "What are they looking at?" Dohan asked. "You," Velthos replied. "Humans are new to the galaxy. Most of us have only seen your kind on screens. You are like a rare animal to them." Dohan frowned. He did not like being called an animal, but he said nothing. He needed to stay calm. He needed to pass these tests and go home to Yuna. They finally reached a large room. It was round with high ceilings. In the center was a single chair. Around the chair were screens. Big screens. Small screens. Screens everywhere. Dohan had never seen so many screens in his life. Sit, Velthos commanded. Dohan walked to the chair and sat down. It was not comfortable. It was hard and cold. But he did not complain. Other aliens entered the room. They sat in seats around the walls. They were here to watch, to study, to judge. One alien stepped forward. This one was different from Velthos. It had blue skin and 4 arms. Its eyes were yellow and very bright. I am Riken, the alien said. I am the chief scientist of this council. I have studied many species across the galaxy. Today, I will study you. Dawn nodded. What do I need to do? Nothing, Riken said. Just watch. And try not to scream. The screens around Dawn flickered to life. For a moment, they showed only static. Then images started to appear. Pictures of creatures. Strange creatures from other planets. The first creature had long claws and sharp teeth. Its body was covered in spikes. It roared at the camera with a mouth full of death. Riken watched Dawn closely. This is a Varka beast from planet Zeloth. It has killed thousands. Does it scare you? Dohan looked at the creature. It was ugly, yes. It was big, yes. But Dahan had seen wild boars charge at him in the forest. He had seen bulls go crazy in the fields. This thing looked mean, but it was just an animal. It looks angry, Dahan said calmly. But I have seen angry animals before. You just need to stay calm and move slowly. The aliens in the room whispered to each other. This was not the reaction they expected. Most species would be shaking by now. Riken changed the image. Now the screen showed a different creature. This one was like a giant spider. It had 8 legs and dozens of eyes. Its body was black and shiny. This is a Necron spider, Riken said. 1 bite can kill you in seconds. The venom destroys your blood from the inside. Dohan leaned forward and looked at it. How big is it? About the size of your head. Dohan shrugged. I have seen spiders before. Not this big, but still. Spiders do not scare me. I once found one in my shoe. Just shook it out and went to work. More whispers. More confusion. Riken's yellow eyes narrowed. Let us try something different, Riken said. The screens changed again. This time, they showed Earth. Dawn felt his heart warm. Home. He could see the blue oceans and green lands. He missed it already, but then the image zoomed in. It showed a forest, a jungle, and in that jungle, something was moving. A snake, but not just any snake. This was a king cobra, one of the deadliest snakes on Earth. The video showed it rising up, spreading its hood. Its eyes were cold and cruel. It hissed at the camera. This is from your planet, Riken said. We have studied Earth's life, and we found these creatures. They call them snakes. This one can kill a human with 1 bite. The venom attacks your nervous system. You cannot move. You cannot breathe. You die slowly and painfully. The aliens in the room leaned forward. Surely this would scare the human. This creature was from his own world. He must know how dangerous it was, but Dohan just scratched his chin. Oh, that is a cobra, he said. Yes, I know these. We have them in Korea too. Different kind, but still dangerous. Riken blinked. And this does not scare you? Scare me? Dohan laughed a little. I have been farming for 50 years. I have seen many snakes. They like to hide in the rice fields. Sometimes they come into the house when it is cold. The video on the screen changed. Now it showed a black mamba, the fastest snake on Earth. It chased the camera, striking again and again. This one can chase you, Riken said. It is fast. Very fast. It will not stop until you are dead. Dohan watched the video. Fast, yes. Yes. But snakes do not really chase people. They just want to be left alone. If you run away, they usually stop. Another video. This time, a viper. Its fangs were long and curved. Drops of venom fell from them like water. This venom causes your flesh to rot, Riken said. Your skin falls off. Your muscles die. Even if you survive, you will never be the same. Dawn nodded slowly. Yes, viper bites are bad. I know someone in my village who got bit by one. Lost 3 fingers. But he is still alive. Still works. Tough old man. The room was silent now. The aliens could not believe what they were hearing. This human was not scared at all. He was talking about deadly snakes like they were just normal problems. Riken tried one more time. The screen showed all the snakes together. Cobras, mambas, vipers, pythons. The video showed them attacking, biting, killing, people screaming, bodies falling. Your planet has over 3,000 species of snakes, Riken said. Hundreds of them can kill you. Millions of humans have died from their bites. This is what you live with every day. How can you not be afraid? Dawn was quiet for a moment. He looked at the screen. He saw the snakes. He saw the death. But all he could think about was his own life. He remembered the first time he got bitten. He was 20 years old, young and careless. He stepped on a snake in the field. The pain was like fire in his leg. He thought he was going to die. But his father carried him to the village doctor. They gave him medicine. He survived. He remembered the second time. He was 40. A viper was hiding under some wood. He picked up the wood and the snake struck. His hand swelled up like a balloon. Yuna cried for 3 days. But he survived, and he remembered the third time. Just 10 years ago. Another cobra in the field. This time, it bit him on the ankle. He walked home by himself. Yuna made soup and kept him warm. He was sick for a week. But he survived. 3 snake bites. 3 times he should have died. But here he was. Still alive. Still farming. Still living his simple life. I have been bitten 3 times, Dohan said quietly. The room went completely silent. Every alien stopped breathing. What did you say? Riken asked. Dawn looked at the scientist. I said I've been bitten 3 times. By snakes like those. 3 times. Riken stepped back. And you are still alive? Yes. How is that possible? Dawn shrugged. I do not know. I just am. Humans are tough. We do not die easily. Velthos, who had been watching from the corner, suddenly stood up. His black eyes were wide. Show me your body, Velthos demanded. Duhan did not understand at first. But then he realized what they wanted. He rolled up his pant leg. There, on his ankle, was a scar. 2 small dots where the fangs had gone in. The skin around it was still a little dark. He held up his hand. More scars. More marks. Evidence of a life spent fighting against nature. The aliens stared at those scars like they were looking at something impossible. This old farmer, this simple man, had survived things that would kill most species in the galaxy. And he was still here. Still breathing. Still unafraid. Riken looked at Velthos. Their eyes met. And for the first time in many years, both of them felt something they had never felt before. Fear. The morning sun was rising over the rice fields when Dohan woke up. He stretched his old bones and looked out the window. The green fields were waiting for him like they did every day. He was 62 years old, and he had been a farmer his whole life. His father was a farmer. His grandfather was a farmer. And now, he was a farmer too. His wife Yuna was already in the kitchen making breakfast. The smell of rice and soup filled the small house. Doan smiled. Life was simple here in the countryside. He liked it that way. No big city problems. No traffic. Just him, his wife, and the land. "Breakfast is ready," Una called out. Doan walked to the kitchen and sat down. He looked at his hands. They were rough and full of scars. Years of hard work had made them that way. He did not mind. These hands had built a good life for his family. But today was not going to be a normal day that far above the earth. Something was happening. A massive ship floated in space. It was bigger than any building on Earth. Inside this ship, strange beings were having a meeting. These beings were not from Earth. They came from different planets across the galaxy. The meeting room was huge. Hundreds of aliens sat in a circle. Some had blue skin. Some had 4 arms. Some had no eyes at all. They were all different, but they all had one thing in common. They were all part of the Galactic Council. The leader of the council was named Velthos. He was tall and thin with gray skin and large black eyes. He had been the leader for many years. His job was to keep peace in the galaxy. And right now, he had a problem. "We need to talk about the humans," Velthos said. His voice was deep and serious. The room became quiet. Everyone knew about humans. They had been watching Earth for a long time, but they had never made contact. Humans were still young. They had only been in space for a short time. "What about them?" asked one alien. This one had green scales and a long tail. "They are growing too fast," Velthos said. "They have weapons now. Dangerous weapons. We need to know if they are a threat." Another alien spoke up. This one looked like a cloud of smoke with glowing eyes. "How do we find out?" "We cannot just ask them." Velthos nodded. "We will bring one of them here. We will test them. We will see what scares them. If they are easily scared, they are not a threat. But if they are brave, we must be careful." The council agreed. They would bring one human to the ship. But which human? They could not bring a soldier. That would not be fair. They could not bring a scientist. That would be too smart. They needed a normal human. An average one. One of the aliens typed on a computer. The screen showed Earth. It zoomed in on different countries. Finally, it stopped on a small village in the countryside. "This one," the alien said. "He is a farmer. He is old. He is nobody special. He will be perfect." The screen showed Dohan. He was walking to his rice field with a tool in his hand. He had no idea that hundreds of aliens were looking at him right now. "Bring him," Velthos ordered. Back on Earth, Dohan was working in his field. The sun was hot, but he did not mind. He had worked in hotter weather before. He was pulling weeds when he noticed something strange. The sky was getting dark, but it was still morning. How could the sky be dark? He looked up. His eyes went wide. There was something above him. Something huge. It was blocking the sun. Dohan could not move. He could not speak. He just stood there and stared. A bright light came down from the sky. It surrounded Dohan. He felt his body lifting off the ground. He tried to grab something, but there was nothing to hold. He was floating up higher and higher. "Una!" He tried to shout, but no sound came out. The light pulled him into the ship. Everything went white. Then everything went black. When Doan opened his eyes, he was in a strange room. The walls were made of something shiny. The floor was cold under his feet. He still had his farming clothes on. His boots were still covered in mud. He looked around. Where was he? This was not his village. This was not Korea. This was not even Earth. A door opened. Doan turned to look, and what he saw made his heart stop. A creature walked into the room. It was tall and thin with gray skin and big black eyes. It was wearing some kind of robe. It looked at Doan like he was a bug. Doan took a step back. His heart was beating fast. But then he stopped himself. He was a farmer. He had faced many hard things in his life. He had survived bad storms. He had survived hungry winters. He had even survived snake bites. This was just another challenge. The creature spoke. But Doan did not understand the words. They sounded like music and static mixed together. Then something amazing happened. A small device on the wall glowed. And suddenly, Doan could understand. "Welcome, human," the creature said. "I am Velthos, leader of the Galactic Council. You are on our ship." Doan blinked. "Ship? What ship? Where am I? Where's my wife?" Velthos raised a hand. "Your wife is safe. She is still on your planet. You are in space, far from your home." Space. Doan had heard of space. He had seen pictures of the moon on television. But he never thought he would actually go there. He was just a farmer. Farmers did not go to space. "Why am I here?" Doan asked. His voice was shaky, but he tried to sound brave. "We need to learn about your species," Velthos said. "We need to know if you are dangerous." Doan almost laughed. Dangerous? Him? He was an old man who grew rice. The most dangerous thing he did was kill bugs in his field. "I am not dangerous," Doan said. "I am just a farmer." Velthos looked at him with those big black eyes. "We will see. We have tests for you. We will show you things. And we will watch how you react. If you pass, you go home. If you fail, we will decide what to do with your planet." Doan felt cold. The fate of his planet was in his hands. The fate of Yuna. The fate of everyone he knew. And all he had to do was not be scared. He took a deep breath. He thought about his rice field. He thought about the sun on his face. He thought about Yuna's soup. These thoughts made him feel strong. "Okay," Doan said. "Show me your tests." Velthos almost smiled. But it was not a kind smile. It was the smile of someone who knew a secret. The aliens had tested many species before, and every single one had failed. Humans would be no different, or so they thought.